constipated there.
Like right now?
Welcome to Three Things. Tonight's guests are two of my favorite people on White Sox Twitter. The fun and friendly type of people we were hoping to meet when we hung the 108 shingle on the door. In this corner, we have a master of design and silliness whose often outrageous humor generally consists of cleverly wound dick jokes. He's an artist, a photographer, and the man who brokered the deal for Teresi and I to pay one of his friends $80 to drink a jar of pickle juice. And in that corner, we have our friendly neighborhood 50-50 dealer who never sells us any fucking winners. The man who brought Tecate Titanium into our lives. And a fellow who trolls me about not being out running just because he's jealous that a 260-pound man like myself could crush a 5K turkey trot so easily. I'd like to bring to the stage our friends, Zach, a.k.a. Z Soxwood, and Kier, a.k.a. Matt Ramsey. Fellas, welcome to Three Things.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Thanks.
That was beautiful. Very beautiful. Appreciate it.
It wasn't as clunky as I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to trip up a little bit in there. It was a lot more than I'm used to reading. So
You did
I
good.
got this shirt here too.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, baby.
Do you have the custom tank top?
I'm wearing a very comfortable shirt, by the way. I
That
just want to let you fucking know about that.
was like putting on needles. The quality of that shirt.
Bullshit. It's
Oh, these
wonderful.
are the American Apparel ones.
Oh, okay.
That's
Those are
an
good
American
then.
Apparel.
Okay, I'll take
That's
your word for
better.
it. You sent me
I
like
mean,
a
it's
Fruit of
not-
the Loom worn by like Michael Jordan in 1992.
Oh, dude, why you gotta talk shit on Michael Jordan? You know, he was a Haynes guy, not Fruit of the Loom.
I'm
you
gonna
I
dumbass.
wanna
say
know. Let's fuck it.
that both of you guys better mustaches than Michael Jordan. We'll just end it there.
Thank you.
He
Allegedly.
his mustache game's a little rough.
I mean, I
It's
think
evolved.
the Third Reich appreciated it.
Wow, already? It's been like, what, 2 minutes into this?
That's how you know you're huge. If you can get away with that mustache in this era, like that, and no one says anything, it's just kind of let you go. You know you're the GOAT.
He rewrote
that's
the
one
history
reason
books.
That's the one thing the LeBron people cannot refute, that he was allowed to wear that mustache. LeBron could never do that shit. So that's how you know Michael's the GOAT.
No, LeBron can't even fake his hairline without going around.
Oof.
I think
LeBron have new hair. You know?
Yeah, I think LeBron should just go full Carlos Boozer and just permanent market that bitch.
I remember when Boozer's hairline started growing forward. I was like, wow, man, congrats. And then you realize, well, no, that's not it.
It looked
You
like
gotta be hanging out with Urlacher.
oh my! Urlacher's hair is just awful.
So are his political views.
He was a little unmeasured, I would say. But I like when you drive into the city from the north, you tend to, like, if you're north of the airport, you tend to hit like 10 billboards of Urlacher ass hair on the way in, like consecutively. Like, you'll forget 5 minutes ago you just saw a guy who was completely bald when you were like 10 years ago, full fucking head of his ass hair. Like, you're gonna forget that.
I just like when they ask him about it, and he's like, I'm a lot more confident. It's like, you're a Hall of Fame fucking linebacker.
Made $50 million in your life. Like,
where is this lack of confidence coming
yeah.
from? Now you got a little hair hat, and all of a sudden you're confident.
The worst. Damn Bosley.
All right, boys. Well, thanks for joining us. This is Three Things. But today it'll kind of be four things because I want each of you to have your own special little question. So I'm going to jump down to my man, Matt Ramsey, and let him go first with his question.
All right. So my question would be, if you could choose one player to do cocaine with, dead or alive, a White Sox player, sorry, I reworded that bad.
Okay.
And what setting? Like, where would you do cocaine with them? And what? Any player.
Baseball player or White Sox player, didn't change my answer, and I'm going first because this is fucking so obvious for me.
I can't.
Me,
I'm kind of pissed that you're gonna pick him right out the gate,
man.
and it bothers me because that was who I was gonna go with too. But go ahead.
Me and Jose Canseco doing coke, talking about Bigfoot for like 2.5 weeks at least. I mean, like it would be the kind of benders like you only hear about John Holmes doing. Like that's the kind of thing that would go down. Like we would like I just imagine like at one point like I'm trying to lift like a bench press of like 5,000 pounds and just snap my arms off and still keep going. That's the scenario that I see, and the talks that I would have with this guy, whether it be about his baseball cards or his run for president that's going to happen this year. Like it doesn't matter. It would all be great. We would probably see some aliens. They may or may not be there, or they may just be illegal aliens. You never know. But it would nevertheless be fantastic. And I'm all in on the Canseco. And I think this goes without saying, I would pay for all the cocaine.
Nice. Okay.
What a sweet.
I think that you're on to something there too, but I think that you would definitely give like either Zach or Jeff Muggs a call, because you guys would start designing the logos and stuff for his presidential run. And I know I'm not your favorite designer, so one of these guys might be in there.
Let me just say,
Hey, where does Zach
anyone
rank in the designer scale for you? Is he above or below Jeff Muggs?
I wouldn't call any of you motherfuckers, because I'd be like Costanza with Tony DeMimbo. Like I would not want anyone getting in on this. This is my time with Jose.
You're in love with him.
So this the print it is, I guess. All right, sounds great. Design your own.
Yeah, I think that what we would be most concerned about is the design of his campaign materials. That's
when you're
that's
up for that many hours.
When we're talking about
shit, it's important.
I mean, like we would obviously have Bigfoot design it. I mean, I think it goes right in line with what I was saying, unless aliens came to design it. But I watched Ancient Aliens the other day, and Bigfoot might be an alien, so this all might work out.
True.
Jesus. Yeah.
Jesus too.
He'll be the vice president, actually. You need a running mate. Jesus is going to slide right in. I don't see how they lose. I'll be honest with you.
Let's go ahead. I'm still thinking.
I'll go next. So when you threw this question out there, a lot of players went through my head pretty quickly of the last, let's say, 30 years, White Sox. But there's only one real experienced cocaine user who was a top player on the White Sox. And I got to go with him. But my setting is not going to be his White Sox year. So I'm going to go with Rock Raines.
Yes.
But I'm going to move it back to when he was in Montreal. Because Montreal, from what I've heard, I've never been there, is a great party town. And it's like early 80s, and you're rolling with all the coke with Rock Raines. He's going to hit some spots. He's going to show you some places, and you're going to see some things. So I know as fun as Treasy's thing with Jose Canseco is going to be, this is going to be some wild shit. And I will wish I had a smartphone to record some of what the fuck I'm going to see me and Rock Raines doing yayo all around town.
Let me ask you this though: like, how is your hair? Because I've seen your hair recently.
What I would do,
but you got to hang with not only Rock but Andre Dawson.
Yeah, well that's what I was thinking. I'm going to go Andre Dawson early 80s hair.
Okay.
And he and I will be hair twins when we go out this way. Because he's a star and we got to protect him. So people might think I'm him, and then it'll be easier to just go out that way. So
does the carpet match the drapes?
If I know your flow, this is Deion Sanders' rookie card.
Oh yes.
Hair, yeah, I can't. Yeah. That's what I could get that fairly easily.
Okay.
Just going outside for like a half hour if it's hot. Like I'll get that. It'll be beautiful.
I would like to see it with some product though. Maybe the product from Coming to America, a little Afro Sheen. That would gel well.
I'll put the Soul Glow in there.
Soul Glow. Yeah. Afro. What is Afro Sheen from?
No, he says that he thinks he has Afro Sheen in his hair when he's cutting.
Okay, sorry. My references.
Yeah, I know the Jenks family. I can get a hold of some Soul Glow.
Their grandson Bobby did really well for this.
Hey, do I have to take one player, or can I pick like a team?
Nice like summer. You can
one
do whatever.
Player, asshole.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so
this isn't my show, so I'll just sit back.
My Sox Summer likes to try to give 4 answers so that
no. They're all on the same team. And you know what team I'm talking about because it's the most fun team that's ever played baseball ever.
The NY Mets?
Oh yeah. So it's really hard because I know like Keith Hernandez is was a big guy with the nose shake handy. Lenny Dykstra, I'm not sure he was into that, but that guy is a fucking lunatic, so he always has probably been a lunatic. Darryl Strawberry and Doc Gooden probably seem to be the ones that you'd want to like probably do it with because they're like really good. But I think I'm gonna have to go with Gary Carter.
Who played for the Sox when?
Oh, he's got to play for the Sox?
Yes.
That's the question.
Oh, I thought it said either or.
No, I don't know how you let him go that far.
No, that's why I was.
How could we
just let him go on a tangent?
I was biting my tongue. My nose almost bled. I was biting my tongue so hard.
I thought you were getting like excited about what I was going to say, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to say yet. Oh shit! Oh, that sucks. Because, I mean, Daryl Boston would be fun, I guess, too.
Oh, there you go. That's a good call. He has a
met, thing. He's been vetted out. I don't know about the extracurriculars that he was accused of while he was with the Mets. I don't know if I want to be part of that shit. But, I mean, I could do some cocaine with them. Fuck, if it had been, you know what? I'm gonna have to go with this person. Number one answer. Second guy that popped in my head after Jose Canseco, Manny Ramirez. Manny Ramirez would probably be a fucking total crazy motherfucker to like fucking go and party with and go out with. Like so much so that you haven't heard much about this guy until what? Just this year, right? Like he chose a place to go play baseball because of the food, right?
Yeah, he went to go play in Taiwan.
He'd been gone for a while though. Like he's been like off the face of the earth, according to me. So yeah,
he ended up in the Cubs system as like a player manager or some bullshit.
Oh yeah.
But I honestly, my Sox summer, I think we might be able to make a few phone calls. You might actually be able to pull this off. We'll get you a weekend with Manny Wood, and you guys just go.
If I can go to Taiwan too, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely in Taiwan.
I wouldn't even limit it to cocaine. I would do everything that you could do in Taiwan, and maybe I'd come back.
You could wear that awesome hat you have. That one I don't even know, that one hat. You have it somewhere.
Hold on.
The Raiden hat. Raiden.
It's over there.
For Mortal Kombat.
You know what I did? I fucking cleaned down here, and now none of my props are right where they need to be. So.
What about
some shit?
Is the Topanga down there?
I've been selling a lot of shit actually, which is crazy. I've been showing these guys and telling these guys like right at the start of all the self quarantine, like well apparently this is very popular. Like people needed to buy. I have like leather dice holders. I sold like 6 of them in like 2 days.
Do you have any more?
Like we were selling like these. I've sold a lot of empty White Sox Golden Ale cans for $10 a piece, which no one thought that those would sell, but they sell like crazy. Everything that's not like pinned down or stapled down in my room is being sold.
Can we get back to the leather dice holders?
Yeah, like, remember, like
how many do you have to sell?
Like those little things.
Also, that's something else, right? Like you're talking. It's not what it sounds like. It's like some kind of sex thing, right?
It has to.
No. I had like these Jim Beam like leather dice cups, and I found a bag of them at a thrift store for like $6. I sold it for like
girthy.
They were pretty girthy. I like that big. Oh, I mean, no Mexican Mandingo, but pretty big.
You got to pay extra for the extra girth.
That's why they call him Superman.
Yeah, hey man, I just remember that was the first thing I sold out of. I was like, I just sold 6 of these things for $125. It's like that's insane. Like, and I paid $5.
Nice. So. All right.
Congrats, Zach. How about you? Who would you do cocaine with? Former Sox.
Well, actually, I'll go a slightly different direction. And the thing that intrigued me about Matt Ramsey's question was that he specified that you could also pick the setting of this that you're doing this with. Yeah. So I'm not picking the person that I want to do with it. I'm picking the setting, and I'm thinking El Duque, bases loaded, a 16-year-old biracial boy walks onto the field and does cocaine with him on the mound, and then he goes on to clear to get out the inning clean, and just imagine what that conversation has to do in the world for what cocaine can do.
Yes.
So like the idea is you come out of the dugout as though you're the pitching coach, and you both just kind of get in close and like do a couple little bumps, and then he does that, and then people are like, you know what? We should probably just give everyone cocaine.
Teresa, Teresa, I actually envision he walks out with a ceremonial table. And it's not just a quick bump like this. It's they cut it up and everything, and then they go at it so that everyone can see this ceremony that's occurring right there. Make it special, you know?
Yeah.
Sneak around. You want everyone to see it if you're going to get out there and do it.
In my head, I almost come out the crowd and like a spotlight goes on to me, and yeah, it is a special moment. It's delicate, like you're saying. Like it's a ceremony, and we embrace it, and we get lost in it, and then you see magic happen right afterwards.
And we
Clapton's playing in the background.
We had Chris Berman doing that game for ESPN as well. So if we can put him in there doing something with the cocaine, like whoop whoop whoop, I don't know, that'd be good. That'd be fantastic. We could work that in.
Drawn like lines, like yellow marker.
The only thing Berman did in that cocaine fantasy is drive up the price of cocaine.
Yes. Who keeps buying all this cocaine?
Him and leather.
And leather dice holders.
Dice cups. Yep. Fucking dope, man.
All right, Kier, you got to close it out, man.
So
Who's your choice?
I'm rolling with the Big Hurt, and the setting is going to be an Alaskan 50-plus cruise, because we're going to do a massive amount of cocaine and a massive amount of Nugenics, and we're just going to tear shit up.
Do you know who goes on Alaskan cruises though?
I don't know. 50-plus Alaskan
50
cruise.
50 plus.
I said 50-plus Alaskan cruise.
You were shooting for a specific demo.
Yes,
there.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. Come on.
Very
Zoomwood, I know, baby.
Sarah J. Crew, I think is what you're looking for.
Yes.
I thought about Frank.
I know you're trying to shame Sarah
been,
J, but
Kier, I thought about Frank as well, but my setting would have been like 1995 Hunt Club, sort of in the private area. That's what I would have chosen Frank, because that's when he's in his prime right there.
Yeah.
He's the biggest star in Chicago. I mean, next to MJ. The biggest star in Chicago, and I think that would have been dope.
You're telling me Nugenics Frank isn't in his prime right now?
Nugenics Frank might be my favorite version of Frank, but he's not as big a star as
I also like the clothing line Frank. That is
man.
man.
I'm thinking
Frank
about
as well.
getting that. Him and Mo Vaughn, right?
Ooh,
Isn't Mo Vaughn in on that?
Low-key, Mo Vaughn was one of my favorite baseball players as a kid. I don't know what it was, just the massive man he was. I don't know. He was fantastic. I loved Mo Vaughn.
Very drinky.
I was gonna say,
feel like I got a
drinker, right? He was a big drinker, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Like, and something weird, like Dr. Pepper and Rumplemints or something.
Goldschlager.
Goldschlager and Dr. Pepper.
God.
Like, could you imagine that being your go-to? Could you imagine
As a millionaire baseball player?
Yeah. Could you imagine walking into like a steakhouse and you're like you're going out for dinner with a bunch of your friends and they're ordering like, oh, I'll have a scotch and I'll have a martini, and then you're like, I will have a Dr. Pepper and Goldschlager.
They'd kick you out.
Sir, we don't have either of those here. We'll send someone to the local liquor store to pick it up.
It would be the only place you ever paid $30 for it. That's
Be amazing.
oh yeah, they still sell Goldschlager. I didn't know that was still a thing.
To piggyback off of what Kier said, I think another great moment to do cocaine with the Big Hurt would be with, I think in one of the previous three things with Unprotected Socks, he mentions that beautiful story when he goes up to him in the buffet. But imagine like after he works up that courage to like say that to him, and then like immediately after he just starts doing lines with, you know, with Matt Ramsey right next to him.
Hey, you want a bump?
Yeah, like if he was like, he's like, you seem nervous. Why don't we take care of this?
Do another callback to another three things with Scott Garcia, who went up to him at a beer festival and said, hey, I'm a big Sox fan. Can I get your autograph? And Big Hurt was like, hey, just sit down and drink all day and night with me and we'll party. So probably down to party. So he's not going to turn you down, especially when he's drinking malt liquor.
I like that. Yeah.
Malt liquor.
And so that was thing 2. Now the second part of thing 2 is Zach. You throw out a question to the rest of the group.
All right. I spent a lot of time thinking about this. Like I felt like to kind of lean into my brand, I had to do something like really, really horny. But I don't think I want to do that though. I do want to say what I was thinking for a long time. I wanted to say like, what do you think Billy Wires does when he orgasms, whether that's, imitating noises or any kind of weird things, but I don't want to go down there because I just didn't know how many legs it would have. But stepping back, I wanted to throw it out there. So if that spurs a conversation on Twitter or anything like that, that's fine by me. But I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited that things are opening up to some degree. So I wanted to think about bars. I love bars, drinking, the culture there, the architecture, traditions, and things like that. So I don't know if anybody's asked this question before, but I was thinking, like if the 108 got to have their own bar, alcoholic establishment, what would it look like? What would it feel like? What would they serve? What kind of food, bartenders, anything about it, any kind of, anything that you would want to put into there that make that special. What would the 108 bar be? Where would it be located? Things like that.
Well, I mean, it's got to be in Bridgeport, right? We have to have a bar in Bridgeport.
It's got to be near the park. I think
near the park. I mean, we could get rid of the Shy Sox Bar and Grill and just make that the 108 bar. That would be nice.
Oh, did you say My Sock Summer?
Shy Sox Bar and Grill's get the fuck rid of it.
I'm just kidding. That bar sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay because it's there.
Hey, sometimes I
It's
like
there.
to pay
That's a good way to put it.
$13 for a beer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. A 28 ounce Pacifico, most likely, for $15. I would think that we would have like a really good selection of booze. I think we would have a really good selection of beer. I think
Michelob Ultra.
What?
Michelob Ultra.
Yeah, no, good beer.
Yes.
Not
you buy it every
beer.
game. What do you mean good beer? And
Not every game. Jesus Christ.
I don't know.
It's a entire narrative.
Summertime.
Get over it.
Michelob Ultra. My Sock Summer. They go together.
It shames him a little bit. It shames him that he drinks it. Oh.
Yeah.
I have explained this many times. It's like I don't really care so much for Modelo, and I don't really care like Corona is whatever.
Racist.
So it's like I'm just gonna drink whatever. Hey, I like Corona Light. When they had a Corona Light option, it was fucking totally fine. I was okay with that.
My
Then
Sock
they got
Summer.
rid of it, tried to shove this extra shit down my throat. I fucking wasn't too happy.
My Sock Summer.
I gotta buy an Ultra.
Once you put your lips on a Tecate Titanium,
No.
your view on Mexican beer is going to change forever.
Listen, I've had bigger beer, and I'm sure it's very similar to Tecate Titanium.
It's pretty similar.
Oh,
Now,
sorry.
as far as decor, okay, I know we're all postmodern guys, right? I mean, that's just who we are. That's the kind of art we like. That's
true.
what we get into.
very true.
So I want to have similar to Willie Mays Hayes, how he would nail a batting glove up every time he stole a base. I want Wally Money to nail a condom up every time he bags a bitch in her back.
He doesn't use
I
condoms.
think we would have the big huge wall.
He's
Just put it all up there. Everyone can see it.
I don't want
I would
that.
veto that call right there. I am not interested in
The
any
health
of that.
department would love that.
Keep
feel
your
like
personal fantasies out of this, my Sock Summer. Let's
Our
stick
liquor
to a
license
bar
would be
that we would all
revoked
enjoy. All right?
immediately.
That we would all enjoy?
Yeah.
That
Maybe
anyone
we got to
would
give
enjoy.
Wally his own
How about-
bang room, right?
How about something
No, we don't.
anyone would enjoy?
I think we can put it up nice 108 decor. We all have been saving stuff like, oh, this is cool, this was nice, and then we could put that stuff up. People would enjoy that shit.
What's like the most historic item that you can think of that you might have?
Oh man,
We've got the old Baderbrow banner for the Sunday, so
that's
still
good.
exists.
Yeah, I mean,
Oof. That's a good question in its own. I don't know if that's a tangent, but
like I think some of the shirts that we don't make anymore and things like that, especially the ones that I only have in size large that definitely don't fit me anymore. Those types of
stuff. Large.
Didn't
like
someone snap off the beer holder somewhere?
That's
we've
away.
got a couple of those. Yeah,
I gave those away.
Oh, did you
for
give
the
those
108
away?
day? For the 108 day,
yeah,
I gave them away.
Oh, that's right. You had, yeah, that's right.
So
and actually, the guy that won it, he sent. I can't remember who won it. He sent me a picture though. He mounted it to his deck, so he could put it out. He could put his beer outside. So it's being used, which is nice. So yeah, those did go out. Pale Hose Kid won it. That's who.
Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I think if
I'm not that high apparently. Shit.
If we had a bar, I think we would incorporate some of the cooler things that we've experienced in bars around the country, and like the first thing that I could think of is the mystery beer machine. Like that was literally
Yes.
and there's been I've like Chip in Chicago used to have this where it was like just a cooler and they would just grab from it and that's what you get. And like it's a beautiful deal because it's super cheap. Like you get $1 or $2 beer, no matter, depending on the place, but it's whatever comes out of the machine. So like you get a Hams or you get a special export or you get a Pabst Blue Ribbon. It's all across.
Yeah, top tier.
Yeah. Yes, you're just getting all the
Those
best
are the
stuff.
premium beers that come out of there.
Yeah, I don't see any negatives here.
But I think
we didn't even know what that was.
I'd have kind of no in between, right? Like you could either drink that or you could drink craft. Like there's no Bud Light wouldn't even be on the menu.
No,
like,
not a
it
choice.
Just wouldn't even exist. Michelob Ultra not on the menu.
Fucking my socks on.
High Life on the menu. But the and then
no High Life.
I just said High Life would be on the menu.
Oh, I thought you said it wouldn't be on the menu.
So high. So
you fucked with me.
That High Life, baby.
Menu, not on the menu. Oh, on the menu. Fuck.
It's and then the booze the same. Like I would have like the bottom shelf shit. Like I would go to Iowa and I would get Hawkeye vodka.
Yes.
That's it. And then I would get, a Skull would be there, things like that. There would be like bottom of the barrel whiskeys. Like I was in was it Gainesville and they had dollar whiskey shots, which was one of the largest mistakes of my life. But I would have that. But then I would also, the only other things that I would have would be absolute top shelf whiskeys. Like you get like a Louis the 13th shot, or you can get a $1 basement whiskey shot. Like those are your two options.
I actually
That's the kind of place that I would open.
Yeah,
We'd go out of
fantastic.
quickly, but it's fine.
I'll be honest, I just want to build on what these guys have already said. So I think the location of the bar for me is we're going to put it right inside the field house at Armour Park. I know there are programs going on there. We're taking that over, okay? We're going to take over the whole Armour Park. The swimming pool can stay and the basketball court, they're part of our bar, but the rest of it, we're just going to turn into a bar. I like the sweet and sour action that Treasy's shooting for there. For me, we got to have decent wine selection. People can get an actual good glass of wine because you can't get that kind of anywhere else in a Bridgeport bar, basically. In any ballpark, you can't get even a decent glass of wine. So right there, our spot's going to have a decent glass of wine. And you know what else we need? We need those fucking bullshit, they're probably illegal, pull tabs.
Oh,
those things, that's going to be our big money maker.
I don't care if they're legal or not. We got a slot machine in that place, too.
Well, yes, we're 100% going to have all kinds of gambling. The back room poker game is going to be going on. Like, the 108 bar is going to have other rooms, and some of those rooms will have illegal gambling.
Beef. The wine selection, though, right? Like, we're going to have, like, some really nice wines that are, like, $20 a glass.
Yep.
But then we're also going to have box wine that you can drink, but you have to buy the full bag. Like we rip the bag out of the box, and it's
you gotta pay
$14.
That's also $20, but it's the whole bag.
It's $20, but it's a gallon of wine.
You can have a good glass, or you can have the bag of wine for $20.
But you get no glass.
Are you serving the wine in a glass, or is it going to be a plastic cup?
No. The Franzia? The Franzia is just.
I mean, you just drink that out of the bag, right?
You drink from the bag.
It's like,
I'm talking about the
bag.
good stuff, like the expensive stuff. Is it going to be a plastic cup still, or is it going to be like a nice fancy wine glass?
No, we're going to give you some stemware.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll give you stemware. We got to keep it classy with that.
Custom stemware.
That shit will break.
Yeah, probably.
Or
I'm thinking about the Franzia though. It's like when you're in the desert and you have a canteen, but it's a canteen of cheap wine.
Yeah. Make it
Stains
look
your
like
shirt
you're doing
red.
it.
Beef.
Well,
Also, with the expensive wine, we will have the spit jar. So in case you want to drink from that, like in sideways.
That's a good call. You and I will sit there and
drink
spit into it for an hour before we open.
Yeah, that spit jar doubles for the Wally's corner as well.
Man,
Ooh.
can't wait till the 108 bar brings back
Huge
COVID-19.
Oh, it's
not leaving, right?
Yikes.
No.
How about you guys? What would you put in a 108 bar?
So the 108 bar, like you said, it has to be located in Bridgeport. I was thinking of real estate that's already there, but I mean, which you were as well. But First Base, because that's a terrible bar, was a terrible bar.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's open real estate.
you take that back.
I would keep the propane heaters in there that Zach and I experienced.
That's the signature of that place. That's
Yes,
the signature.
when we went in there for a March spring training game, we just wanted to watch a game on a Sunday. Walked in, no one's in the bar. They have a propane heater going to heat the bar. We're just like, we just looked at each other. What is going on right now? And then
There's two guys with missing limbs in there as well.
Yeah, there was people with missing limbs. I'm pretty positive. And then the bartender's like, "Make sure you watch the door. It's dangerous out there." I was like, "Huh?" It's like a Sunday at 1 p.m. There's like kids riding by on bikes and dogs and stuff. And I'm like, okay. That's all I would add. Just the propane heater, basically, to your bar. I'm sure it's very legal.
Is it safe to have propane heaters on inside?
No, definitely not.
Bar?
No, that's why it was amazing.
No.
Oof. Well, to jump on that, I think I had an idea of the location, and while I would love for it to be in Bridgeport, I'm also thinking of the just logistics of available real estate. I really like the idea of having a two-way bar, the bars with, two entrances and an exit, with, some kind of business inserted in the middle of it. And I think of One City Tap on Ashland and Archer, because I like the idea of the two-way, because it kind of mimics looking at that right field corner, having, the baseline down to home plate and then going in the center field. Yes. So you could literally have like a foul pole inserted into the back at that center. and I like that idea, and I think it's close enough to the stadium where you can work things out. But hearing you guys talk about it, what I would like to hear is like there's these two sections of 108ing, this kind of like Franzia, mystery machine beer thing, then also the fancy side. So maybe with the two-way, you can have this fancy slot side and then this shitty slide, and just, and it would just be two worlds kind of colliding. And of course there'd have to be glory holes in every single bathroom. Like without a doubt.
That's a given.
That's practicing social distancing as well. I mean, you're trying to be as safe as possible and conscious of the health risks that exist in the world today. So I respect that.
Yeah.
Wally's never leaving this bar. Like, he'll never make it to a game. I'm gonna go back. I'll be right back.
We haven't seen him since December.
Also, outside of the bar, I'd really love for an old style sign, the classic old style sign, the old style logo, and then the bar name. But instead of the old style logo, it would be a painted image of Grandpa Hog. And then with the bottom slat being #108ing. I think that could just be beautiful. I'm seeing stars thinking about it right now, to be honest.
Are you thinking like a picture painting, or are you more thinking of like a statue? Like when you do Stations of the Cross in church? I'm sort of thinking like Grandpa Hog's like the 10th station or something like that. Like something a little more ornate, but it's a statue.
A stained glass hog?
Yeah, maybe, you know. Yeah, we go stained glass too. I mean, I guess depends on you know, the location, but
or
I
just
think
like gargoyles with the hog hanging down
guarding the hog, yeah.
over the side of
They're
the
protecting the hog. I like that idea
it's
too.
just kind of, the hog is just kind of hanging down over the buttress.
Ooh, buttress. This has to be the first time you've referenced buttress on this.
It's
Wordplay
never
right
been
there.
said in any of our shows, anything we've ever done publicly.
Wonderful. I love
We've
being
never
part
said
of that.
buttress. A flying buttress.
Big architecture guy.
I have no idea if I used the term right. I just wanted to say it.
Glad you did.
All right, so that was thing 2, a glorious thing 2. Thing 3 is a question from us. And so I want to use a concept from work. Now, it's a foreign concept right now because a lot of people have been working from home, right? We haven't been going into an office and experiencing sort of the office life. But there's this concept when you're in the office, someone that you're very close to, tight with, for, you know, it's either called a work wife or a work husband. And so what I was thinking is we'd throw it out there. Who would you choose as your sort of work husband on White Sox Twitter?
This is easy for me, but I don't know.
Go for it, Zach. You go first.
I mean, my Zoom is mirrored, but the guy that's, you know, right next to me. I mean, if you've seen Billy Wires in person, I cannot even imagine what those cuddles would be like. I mean, that is a chest that you can just sink into and melt, and all the terrible things within the world just disappear. Whew, I'm getting a little hot-hearted actually talking about this. But no, I mean, he's as you know, vile and disturbing as some of the things he shares. He's such a sweetheart too.
Yes.
Such a nice guy. So yeah, without a doubt. I mean, there's that combination of just that physical attractiveness, and then that heart, and then that humor. Sign me up. I'm there for you, Billy boy.
I like that. You really got in on it, Zach, because you got to be able to share the joking moments, the sort of tender moments, and then you got the fiery stuff. You know, you got the we're pissed off. We're gonna be pissed off together about this shit.
Yeah.
Like
I can't even. Yes, I mean, thinking just sexually, I can't even imagine what would. I'd need help the next day. Is all I'd say.
That's solid.
All right, who's next?
Here.
Oh shit, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So probably the person that I interact the most with on Twitter would probably have to be my work husband. It's a person in this room. It's Mr. Beefloaf. It can be sexual. It doesn't have to be sexual. That's fine. It could just be a working relationship. I think that's what you're kind of getting at, which is fine. But
you're worried I'm going to friend zone you. That's what you're worried you're going to be friend zoned right now.
I feel like I could replace Miss Beefloaf. Can't say her name.
Whoa! Shots fired there.
That is a
you even have Morton
statement.
sitting on the couch behind you. Right there.
Not respect her.
Yeah, this is
I can clean your hot tub for you. I can raise bonita steaky if I have to. I can even do a full My Sock summer and just be a stay-at-home dad if you want me to do that. But no, I feel like we interact a lot on Twitter. You're always up at like 6 a.m. So like whenever I tweet something, you like it within 14 seconds. And it seems like you are up until like 11 or midnight. And I don't know. I feel like I got a good relationship with you. You know,
what about the sex life?
We can end the show right now.
We can explore it. You know what? Me and Beef are just gonna we're out of here for a second.
We're out. We'll see you guys later.
Your virtual background goes off and you're just in the same room as him.
What the hell?
I slide in right next to him.
Hey guys.
How's it going, everyone?
I wanted to go like single white female and for like Kira to grow his hair out.
I mean, it's getting there. It's getting long, but nothing crazy yet. Nothing crazy.
Have some little shorts on. The whole.
Oh, those are on right now too. I'm not gonna put it on. But...
Oh, what? That is a screen grab for sure.
Right
I scanned over for that one, baby. I knew it was coming.
Went over to page 2, huh?
Yep, went to page 2 because I was like, oh,
I'm
he's
full
gonna show
screen.
something.
My Sox computer is just mine on there. It's just me.
It was just like your little skinny leg that you broke on the treadmill.
Son of a bitch. Hey, that was not a treadmill. I was walking on a sidewalk. Actually, I was running on a sidewalk. And I hit a curb, and I broke my ankle.
Oh.
Hit a curb.
But I thought you were on a
like
treadmill and you hurt yourself on a treadmill.
No, I was outside.
No.
It was actually the Friday
so
of the Cubs Sox game. And I remember I had like 3 beers because the game was like a weird 3 o'clock start 2 years ago. It was that Friday game where they started at 2 or 3 for some reason.
Yep.
And I had like 2 or 3 beers, took a nap, woke up at 8, and I was like, I'm going to go for a run. Probably a terrible decision. Like, and I was like, even thinking, I'm like, why am I doing this? Sure enough, within 5 minutes of my run, break my damn ankle.
Oh,
Jesus.
It wasn't good.
Dude.
We
once watched Wally walking.
Like, I should run.
Yeah.
So the funny thing is at Eastern Illinois at university, I used to run home after I would drink when I was underage, just because I had like an excuse. So if like the cops pull me over, I'm like, oh, I'm just out for a run. Probably stupid. 2 or 3 in the morning, this drunk guy just running. But so I used to do that, and then I would just get home like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. I shouldn't have ran.
Wow.
You know what's really great about edibles is like sometimes you're like high and like you forget the question that your man Beef Loaf just asked you, and you think of an answer, but when he tells it, you start thinking about it and you think of the perfect answer. Then you forget the fucking answer.
All right, go ahead, my son. You answer the question.
So while you're sitting here, I'm like going through it, and like it just all starts rolling back to me, and I'm like, now I remember it. So I'm gonna go with 2 guys for my work husbands. Okay.
Oh, polygamy.
They're not in this room.
Ooh,
Okay.
I like this. I like
not in this room.
Church of Latter-day Summer here.
With my two of my favorite guys to see at Sox Park, and in the parking lot inside the park. So much so when we said goodbye the last time, I think 2 years ago, we all embraced, like big time embraces. And big time embraces when we see each other every time. We go with my man Demare and Sleepy Harold, because I couldn't decide between those two. It's really hard. Like they're like a yin and a yang. You know, they're like you guys. You know, you guys used to have 3 parts too, but then, you know, it's gone. So now you guys are like yin and yangs too. Like, yeah, that dude. Maybe that guy.
Got that.
So, but no, they are 2 of my favorite people to probably hang out with. They like to drink. They're fun times, and it's just they always have good conversation. They'll tell you stories. They'll tell you something that you didn't know before. It's just we have a really good working relationship with those dudes, and so I really do miss those guys because we haven't talked to those guys in forever. So, yeah.
I'm honestly shocked and appalled that you didn't choose White Sox Dave, because you mentioned him on every single video and every single piece of media you've ever done. So this is amazing. This is a shock.
I'll be honest. When I ran this question past my wife, she basically said, "Oh yeah, my Sox owner's going to pick White Sox Dave for sure."
No. I thought he was going there too. Like I'm like, oh yeah, he's going to say White Sox Dave.
And only because I don't know this other guy a lot, but I think we're really similar. Tony and Domimbo, like we could have a very good, probably working like relationship with each other because he's into the same shit. Old Stern, he loves that. He loves the Sox. He's all these things that are very similar. But no, I couldn't take Dave. Dave, I would probably want to kill after a while if we had to wife up. So, yeah. I mean, it would still be fun, but I don't want to kill him.
It'd burn out quick, right? The relationship would burn. It wouldn't last. It couldn't.
I mean,
right.
You just basically called him a side piece.
Yeah, he did.
It'd be fun, but I get tired of him. I get tired of him real quick.
He'd give he gives him the text. You up? That's what he does.
Yeah, I know the question isn't probably meant to be this way, but every single answer I'm totally thinking, like I'm visualizing sexual experiences with
At the bone.
dimension.
Am I
So
taking or giving?
The question is meant to be
You were-
however you think it is meant to be.
Well, see, I didn't think of it that way because, like, the idea of like
Supposed to make a work
husband would look
relationship,
like-
not
like,
a sexual.
Yeah, it's definitely
Right, it's
not
supposed to be
that.
a work.
But so the person I thought of, but the unfortunate thing is the person I thought of is in my top 5 huggers. So I mean, like, but
I like where this is going.
for me, it's Dylan Covey's burner. Like that's the dude
Nice.
that I always like talking to, and we got a lot in common, like music wise, and just like kind of all kinds of different thoughts that are similar. So like I always enjoy chatting with that dude and hugging that dude. So it's
chubby
like
chaser.
a perfect person to choose for that. So I'm gonna take him.
Nice.
That's an
Take
excellent
him.
choice.
Great choice
Yeah,
of
I'll
words
take
too.
He's not
But
married yet, thanks.
you two were definitely vibing during his 3 things with all that music talk for sure.
Yeah, you felt it, right?
I felt
I
it.
felt
Yeah.
it.
I
mean,
felt
I
the
hope
sexual
I'm wrong.
tension.
It moved. It might have moved.
It moved. It moved.
I mean, that's my go-to video.
I'll close it out. When I was thinking about this question, it's an extremely tough one because I do interact with a fair amount of people on White Sox Twitter. And Kira, I did not pick you, unfortunately.
It's
but
okay.
we could still be together.
I could be a side piece.
I was
Brutal.
I was going down a certain path. I was picking bigger guys that I think if I had to throw down with, that they could be, someone that I was like, okay, cool, And so I thought about my Sox Summer for a bit. I thought about Billy Wires for a bit. Then I thought, well, what about my guy Pete Hand? He's a big dude. He's a good provider, and he's a generous guy. Like maybe that's my guy. But then I settled on someone who has a crazier fucking sense of humor than him, but is sort of in the same vein as all these guys. And my Sox Summer thinks that he and him are clones. I'm going to pick the hot dog king himself, a man of accomplishment. I will pick Matt Nominson because he's got a fucking sense of humor, but he's a big competitor too. Yep. And so that's the kind of guy I need on my side. I need that guy. He gets his ire up. He's going to get up in your shit. And I like that. I like to have that. He's a little feisty. He's got a good, like chill. But then when you get under his skin, he's going to fuck you up. So that's the kind of person I want to be my my work husband.
Yep.
Hot dog king.
That's a good call. He's younger than me, but all the hot dog eating stuff has probably got him about the same age as me. So we're probably similar in more ways than one.
Heart health.
Yeah, that's right.
That guy, every time he says something, it's like, "Fuck, are we seriously not the same person?" He's like, "Oh man, I had my eyebrow pierced when I was at NIU. Oh my god, I did too. What the fuck?"
Wait, you guys both had your eyebrows pierced?
Yeah. And he had it done like, what is he? 5 years younger than me? And he's more. I think it's 5 years. He's like 36, but like, yeah, that's 7 years. But
I might have to change my choice. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I kind of want.
I don't know about your past. Your past might be a deal breaker for us.
I kind of want to see my Sox Summer redo this.
I was going to say, could we
put a eyebrow ring in?
Oh yeah.
Could we make a situation if something happens, you re-pierce your eyebrow right now and then on video? Is there anything
blood spraying everywhere?
Like I know Kier as a vegetarian has said if the White Sox win a World Series, he will eat a hot dog.
Yeah,
multiple hot dogs.
Is there a thing that we can set right now that if that happens,
we can set right now?
You could, yeah. I'm putting you on the spot.
How about this? If we open that bar, if the 108 gets that bar, if we open that bar up, then my Sox Summer's working the door eyebrow ring.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we got to get the piercing up on Periscope or something like that. It's got to be a live piercing. And
it's got to be old school. Like we're
in a basement.
Pornhub Live.
And you and I are pushing. Yeah.
Oh no! I will not do that.
Yeah,
no,
that's the way it's going to be done.
Professionally done.
No,
that is professional.
Yeah. No, that is not professional.
They look like professionals to me.
No,
Prince Albert. We're just gonna. It's just your eye, man. Don't worry.
You got another one.
Man, Mr. Sterling over here in his fancy piercing and tattoo shops can't take a little basement action.
Yeah. You want to go to a Claire's?
Back teen for me, sir. Use that pin back you found on the fucking ground outside.
Hey, we'll boil it. We'll boil it in some water. You're good.
We'll get sanitized. Don't worry about it. I love this idea.
The same alcohol we're making in the basement of the bar is going to be used to sterilize.
No,
it's got multi-use. It's called good business. Good business last summer.
I was seriously considering if we did it personally and we opened a bar. That would be I could probably go down the Joe Exotic old guy with a eyebrow ring, trail if we needed to. Although his was weird because it was like hanging down, like it was like old skin, and God, I hope I'm not that bad looking, but maybe.
Old skin.
Old skin. My new hashtag.
That's the name of the bar. That's the name of the bar.
Old skin.
That's gonna be one of the beers in the mystery beer machine.
That's gonna be the call. No, go ahead.
On that note, we're going to end three things. Zach.
Oh, no.
Thanks so much for being on the show. Love hanging out with you guys. It's been a long time. I can't wait till all this stuff breaks up a little bit so we can get together and share 1,000 beers, hang out, talk more shit like this.
Always our pleasure. Thank you.
Miss you.
Yeah, guys. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you, guys.
Good talking with you guys. Good having beers with you. We'll see you soon.